Hello everyone and welcome to the final 2023 recap. It is 2024. All that's left for us to do is to talk about the month of December to round out the year. Justin, Derek, and Jacob, 2023 is in the books. How are we feeling?
About fucking time.
I'm ready for 2024. I say that, and the start of 2024
You sound that in
awful.
2024 has kind of fucked you up.
2024 has been awful for me so far. But
I've been dealing with the ear infection. How you feeling, by the way?
So it's gotten worse. Still can barely hear out of my left ear, and now I actually have a cold.
Oh no!
So I've had a stuffy nose for the past 2 days, and my throat is super dry. So I've been drinking a shit ton of water. But we doing it anyway. We making it work. So yeah, things have been better.
Well, I don't think any of us have been to any concerts, so I guess we can just go straight into it, right?
I don't feel like there were any concerts like in general. I don't think like any even came near me this month, or I guess last month. Now it's very strange to be talking about it retroactively.
Yeah. I feel like there was something that came to Connecticut.
I was gonna go to Varsity. Forget who they were touring with, but they couldn't even cross the border. So,
that was a non-point show, right?
I don't even know.
Yep, you're right. That reminds, because that show was coming to Hartford like December 2nd or something, and I didn't go.
I don't think any bands I was following were doing shows. Plus, I wanted December just to like breathe with all the awards we were doing.
Yeah,
I was like, I
Nuzlocke on pause.
No, we've started back up. And
we've started back up, but all of December we had to put our Pokemon Nuzlocke on pause, and it was
that's a travesty in multiple ways.
Dude, I barely even listened to music after the awards season. I was so burnt out. I feel like that also like reflects. I mean, I guess December's always a quieter month too, but like even in this, like we got like 20 singles, like strange. It's always.
I feel like there have been some really good Decembers in past years, but they are generally like most bands by December are like they're not releasing stuff around Christmas time.
No,
and if they are, it's like a reimagined or something, or a Christmas cover. So
shout out Lilborn.
True.
Lilborn supremacy forever.
But there were quite a lot of releases earlier in December. And that's what we are going to be talking about today. So if you want to keep up to date, follow us heading into 2024. Be sure to follow at Hivemind Radio _ on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Hivemind Radio, and follow us on Spotify at Hivemind Radio Recap. Let's get started with our first song of the month. Our Promise have dropped brand new song, Satisfaction.
Are you satisfied? Because you are perfect, you are. Or are you just trying to survive?
Jake?
Now, as the resident Our Promise enjoyer here, I'm curious to see if this one got any of you guys. Because to be expected, I really enjoyed this. But did any of you?
I am happy to report that Our Promise has finally delivered a song that I can put confidently into the playlist. I've been waiting for years. It's what I'm going to call the Jack Bergen effect, in that so many different, like, I feel like the lead singer for Void of Vision.
That's why I don't know.
Yeah.
That alt album.
Yeah, he was he had a feature on the alt album.
I didn't research anything after that.
So I feel like there's like this very specific style of like raspy, almost sing screamy, but not really uncleans that I associate
like
with,
Landmarks kind of too.
Yeah, exactly. I guess so, kind of the European type of thing, which I guess Our Promise
European
is
special.
checking out. Yeah, I just find that style of vocal very interesting, like really sonically pleasing to listen to in terms of uncleans. And I think more in this song than any other Our Promise song that I've heard, he kind of taps into that almost vocal fry style. And that was the bit that really got me. Like beforehand, I thought the uncleans were good, but they felt a little, I don't want to say generic, but like nothing like I haven't heard. But this, it blends that with that kind of raspier version and creates, like, in my opinion, the complete package. It's nothing like groundbreaking, but for my personal tastes, this is more along the lines of what I wanted to hear than any other Our Promise single.
This is definitely a step up from Evoke, which was the last single that we talked about. I don't know, say back in like March or something like that. I don't know. It was a while. They released 2 songs early 2023 and then went quiet for a while. But yeah, I thought this was great. I think the chorus is huge. And it's also got an expectedly sick breakdown. I think the 2 vocalists bounce off each other amazing, like usual, to be expected at this point. And I'm hoping that they got like an album or an EP cooking coming into 2024, but if not, I'm down for more singles from this band. This band, they've gotten pretty big. They're sitting at 260,000 monthly listeners right now. So
damn,
they are. I feel like they were one of the small bands that I discovered way back, and they got surprisingly big somewhat out of nowhere.
I was gonna say, dude, that is a surprising number to me.
Yeah.
Last I heard, that was not that high. Good for them, but
unfortunately, the album or the band stays in the territory of I like them when they feature.
there are a select few bands I feel like that occupy that space.
Yeah.
Shout
I
out
don't
Sleeping with
like this,
Sirens.
unfortunately.
Shout out Sleeping with Sirens.
Yeah.
I don't got too much more to say. So, Derek, you got these next 3 songs.
Yo, I feel like I never get a run of songs. There's always like Justin time or Jake time, you know, but like I feel like my ads never end up back to back. This is very surprising for me. With that said, Jake was still involved with this next one because he showed me Thirst, the newest single from a band called Cold State.
Shout out YouTube recommended for this one.
For real. YouTube recommended, and TikTok in particular, really. My TikTok feed has started to, like, out of nowhere show me heavy music, and I'm very surprised by it.
Mine showed the country for a lot, and I don't know why.
Yes, Justin, the country music enjoyer.
Yes. It's going to be a dark day when Justin drops a Morgan Wallen song in this playlist. Anyway,
retroactively, The Better Me featuring Hardy by Beartooth is Justin's favorite song of the year.
What? We're gonna take that as a no.
Justin, I agree.
This reminds me of like I couldn't place it forever. The vocal melody, I think it's in the chorus in here, maybe in one of the verses, is this almost the same as the chorus of Deep End by Archetypes Collide. Like that same sort of like aggression and like bounciness.
I see it, yeah.
What I really enjoyed about this is just like how groovy and pissed off it is. Like there is no like 3 minute. If your song is groovy and pissed off for 3 minutes, I'm sold. Like I feel like a lot of those, I don't want to say deathcore because this isn't deathcore, but songs with only uncleans can feel a bit monotonous at times. I think this does a great job of keeping that like bouncy energy going throughout all of it. It reminds me almost of this other band, I don't know if you're familiar, called Enox. I think it's Enox, who are like kind of genty, like bouncy, pissed off music. Like this is right up that alley, right up my alley. Yeah, I shout out Jake. Really, I mean, I don't have like too much to say about it. It's just one of those songs. That, like,
it's pissed off metalcore. If you like pissed off metalcore, this is pissed off metalcore.
This is pitch perfect pissed off metalcore. PPPM. That's what we'll go with. PP Palm.
That's certainly a.
I hate that.
That's an acronym of all time for sure.
We will not be making a playlist for that.
Oh yeah, speaking
we made a playlist for Drive Score. The term we coined during was it the award show that we coined it, or did we?
Yeah, it was during
okay.
Yeah, shout out Dead Lakes. Go listen to our awards episode if you haven't. Shameless plug.
That's basically for fans of Dead Lakes.
Yeah. I guess
no spoilers.
Oh no,
and 5 hours of us.
Oh, for real.
We were never spoiled.
Kind of, sort of, maybe speaking of drivecore, but not really, but also yes. Our next song is Alone, the newest single from If Not For Me.
Yeah.
I cannot for the life of me remember. We've talked about this band before, right?
No,
Yes.
we
Because
haven't.
we
And
have.
I know
well,
for
now
a
I
fact
don't
that
know.
we haven't, because I have been wanting to add this band into our recaps for like well over a year now, but I have been patiently waiting for the right time to do so, and you just got to it before I could.
Okay. Well, see, that makes me feel better because I was like, I know I listened to Eulogy, that 2022 album,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
incredible album.
I just rediscovered this, and I'm like, well, the our podcast like Instagram account follows them, but I was like, fuck, I feel like we haven't talked about them. So yeah, unlike Jake, I guess maybe I need to go revisit. I wasn't quite as high on the 2022 album. I thought it was good, nothing like super great. But then TikTok pointed me to Blameless, which then I saw, oh, they've got 4 singles for an upcoming album coming out, and Blameless is one of them. May as well listen to them. And all of them were quite good. This in particular to me feels like drivecore adjacent, but almost if it was like with more of a post-hardcore tinge. Like I get that same sort of vibe from the vocalist. I feel like if the instrumentation was a bit more toned down, it would almost sink into that category or very close to it.
I like how we talk about drivecore like everybody knows what it is.
Yeah.
Look, they're gonna know. It's gonna go on the Wikipedia page this moment. It's gonna be linked right to here. You heard it here first.
We're establishing the sound. It's like oh, like Knock Loose is like what, metalcore adjacent. Like this is drivecore adjacent. Like we're branching out. We're developing the web.
Someone's gotta start it. I mean, we're helping the world out.
The wide web of drivecore.
By the way, Derek, I'm really glad you showed us Until I Wake Volume 2.
That's what I was going to say. This is Until I Wake's
what
little
it
brother.
sounds like.
This is Until I Wake's little brother.
I almost like I saw the credits for this, and I think somebody named Cody was on it, and I had to like double take. I'm like, this is Cody from Until I Wake, like, which
Formerly
I
Until
guess
I Wake.
shows how ahead Until I Wake kind of were, I guess, in that sort of sound. I feel like there's been a lot of bands like this popping up recently. Me personally, I love this sound, so I will always take more of it. It's very safe, but it's very well executed. I did not really know anything besides Eulogy about this band prior. I think this is off of an upcoming album that just,
I hope so.
to my knowledge, isn't released.
I thought I saw something about it.
I really have no idea. If it's not off an album, I'm gonna be kind of mad because these four songs are grouped together in the release, right? Like, there's got to be something.
There's got to be.
I hope it's
something,
not an EP.
I mean, hey, if it's an EP,
Well,
we
I
could
mean,
use
if
a
it's
good
EP,
EP.
yeah. That is true. After last
Following
year,
up 2023, we could use a banger EP.
God, we could use a lot of banger EPs,
Yeah.
but whatever this is going to be on, along with these other singles, this is going to be a great, I'll call it, release to be determined. This is definitely a band that I could see, maybe not this year, but with like the presence that they have on social media and the fact that they're popping up, like I could expect to see this band kind of take the same trajectory as Until I Wake did, that kind of like sudden explosion into, 500,000, 600,000, 700,000 monthly listeners, and hopefully not the subsequent implosion, but time will tell, I suppose. Rest in peace, Until I Wake, kind of. I don't know. Who knows what's going on there?
Probably.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Blameless went as viral as it did.
Yeah, shit's
because
popped up.
I thought it was the weakest single of these 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I loved Demons. If June wasn't so crazy, Demons was my next song that I was gonna add into that playlist. And then if July wasn't so crazy, Feel Me Now was like first or second in line for July. I love those 2 songs. Demons actually made my Spotify Wrapped. And then Blameless and Alone, I think, are both really solid, but they don't hit as hard as Demons and Feel Me Now. I kind of don't want to say too much because I want to wait for a full release from this band to drop before I go like too in depth with the past singles. But yeah, this band is, for fans of Until I Wake, this is straight up your alley. And I hope that they reach the same level of success, because they deserve it. And I guess going back to Eulogy, I listened to that album late 2022, so like not right when it came out, but I listened to it late in the year. Songs like Better Days, Burn, and Powerless in particular really stuck with me. So yeah, I definitely think Eulogy is also worth a shout, and I think Eulogy was probably like a top 20 album of 2022 for me. It was like in that like not exactly top 10 contention, but it was like not too far off as far as I remember. And I think whatever release they have coming up next is like making another dark horse run with these stretch of singles here.
Sewer Person is back with his newest single, Imp Blood, off an upcoming album, Mud, coming out on February 2nd.
Way out in a west, mountains, honey cliffs, make the world how this bro, yeah. Spin this soda wine, cook this shit like chicken breast. I must have a fire on top my head, Johnny Test, yeah.
So I think this is going to be one of the first releases of his that I'm going to be able to like actively see in real time, because he drops a bunch of albums on SoundCloud rather, and then they always get uploaded to Spotify like later. So I never know if they actually came out in the given year or not. I really appreciate his ability to like, he always manages to keep it hype without getting rid of any of the vibe, I guess. And the best way that I can describe it is like, how do I put this? He creates this like monotone style for a lot of his music where the song doesn't always peak or build. It just kind of keeps going from the start, but it starts so high that it never really falls off or lets you go. So you can just kind of like zone out and feel the vibe of it while it still keeps that quick tempo. And it's not something that I see from a lot of other artists, either in the emo rap scene, the underground scene, the mainstream pop rap scene. Like, it's a really, I feel like, unique talent that he has. I think the star of this is honestly the little like chiptune bell beat in the background. I love when beats get produced like that, and like that sort of fast-paced, sonically, like it keeps something in the background to keep your attention while the rest of it's going on, which is why it serves his kind of monotone style so well. I'm very interested to see how the rest of this album goes. Eric Godlow is somebody who he's been working with for a long time in terms of production. So I have a feeling that they're going to be able to like really knock this out of the park. I will be interested to see if, because that monotone style, right, and the production that goes along with it works really well in like an individual playlisted song. I'm going to be very interested to see how it'll work in terms of an album. Because Swamp 2, which made my top 10 albums of 2021, had a bunch of different producers on it, so it allowed for that ebb and flow. With this, I don't know. We'll see. Might be able to go see this live in a week. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. I hope I can. I think he's out there with Guardin, Tommy Ice, a couple other people. So we'll see. But this has got me very interested in this album cycle. A lot of his recent stuff has been hit or miss for me, but this one really hit, and I'm excited to see how the album sounds. Jacob, do you still like not really fuck with Sewer Person?
Not really. I've seen him
Okay.
live too, and I just this is kind of off topic, but randomly at the show, I had to go to the bathroom, right? And he's just randomly in there, casually saying hi to people in the bathroom. I was like, okay,
So weird.
So we got an interesting song up next. Archetypes have dropped a new single, Seeing Red.
Dude, I felt it when they said we'll never love you when you're saying red.
and it's fantastic.
It's pretty damn good.
All it took. Go ahead, Jake.
I don't think it's as good as my favorites from the classic Symptoms or For Those That Wish to Exist, but it's a damn good Architect song.
I feel like all it took was them parodying themselves and their own fans to make like a song in this newer style worth listening to. Like,
No, but the real question is, guys, are you happy now?
yeah,
I would say yes. Yes,
I'm pretty happy with this, yeah.
I didn't like a damn thing off of that last album, whatever it's called. And I mean, you know me, I'm the resident Architects hater. I just wish everything could sound like For Those Who Wish to Exist. But what I really, really enjoy about this is that they're not taking themselves too seriously anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it works because they know at the end of the day, as I'm sure bands like Wage War do when they write songs like Death Roll, like they know what like a certain subsect of their fans want. And if they focus on that, they can deliver it well.
Even Wage War made a song like this, right? With High Horse.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and High Horse is really good. Like, I think that's what they don't understand. I feel like it's fine if you push your boundaries, but like sometimes shit's just boring. And if you throw in stuff like this where it's fun and exciting to listen to, and like you can feel the like I don't give a shit energy in it, then it's gonna make me want to listen to it. Like, I don't know. I feel like what they were going for here kind of backfired. Maybe I'm outing myself as like one of the complainers. But I feel like that also can't be it, because I don't like their older material either. I'm the objective, unbiased party that they couldn't account for. Oh, I don't know. I really like this a lot, though. I can't believe I'm saying that about an Archetypes song after that last album, but this was damn good.
See, yeah, I'm kind of in the middle as well. Like, I don't mind some of their older material. I think For Those That Wish to Exist is their best album.
Mm-hmm.
But the last album was their worst album.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm one of the haters too. I don't really know. I didn't really take it to Twitter or anything. I just kept it like within the podcast. I feel like so.
Well, see, Sam Carter heard you.
I guess we're part of the problem.
Yeah. He heard our review of the album. Was like, I gotta write this fucking song. I hate the guys in the Hivemind.
Except Jake.
Except for Jake, yeah.
I like the last album, so I get a pass, I guess.
That was actually Jake Gets a Pass was the breakdown call out in this. There's Jake Gets a Pass. Blah.
I do want to touch on, before we move on, the guitar riff in this song goes stupid. Like the main riff
really
after the opening, like I don't know what the fuck noise to call it, but it makes a fun little noise. It makes me happy. Yes, I am happy now.
That's what I was saying. It's all these things. It's like, yeah, are you happy now? Like we did the thing. Like, yeah, this is literally all we wanted. Like,
I'm curious if this is going to be a standalone single or if this is going to be a part of an album.
Because
I think this is a rare exception where this could actually make sense as just a standalone.
Who knows? I really don't know.
Isn't the artwork the same? It's the spaceman from For Those That Wish to Exist, right? Doesn't he dress like that on the cover?
Oh yeah, it is. I didn't notice that. So maybe it is.
To rest.
Putting him to rest is crazy.
Shit. What was I gonna say? I don't remember.
This is their most popular song now too.
They're touring on this song. Just announced a tour, which I haven't bought tickets to, but I'm debating on if I should. It's with a Vice and Man and While She Sleeps. So
I'm also thinking about that, to be honest.
If I get a lot of Tether on that of Mice and Men set list, I'll be like, yeah, probably go to it.
No, they're actually just going to be playing Mushroom Cloud and All of Earth and Sky. Oh, really?
I like Earth and Sky.
I just tried to pick songs that were like opposite of Tether.
I kind of just want to hear like Archetypes classics. Like, I don't love a lot of Archetypes' older discography, but like, I feel like getting to hear Doomsday and Animals live would just be insane.
God, you labeling Animals an older Archetypes song has just aged me by like
No, I'm not saying Animals is a classic. Like, that's a newer one.
It's been like 4 years since Animals, almost,
bro.
By classic, I'm saying like some of their most like notable popular songs.
Yeah,
like when you think of Archetypes, you think of Doomsday, you think of Animals. Those are the songs that you think of. I feel like you think of like, what's the other song from Holy Hell that's really good, or that people really like?
Death Is Not Defeat.
Oh yeah,
I like that one.
No, I think Hereafter is the most popular.
Maybe Hereafter. I don't know. I didn't really love Holy Hell all that much, but like I feel like getting to hear Archetypes live just for like their most popular songs that I enjoy would be like I feel like the live environment has to be insane for those songs. But anyway, I feel like we've said enough about Archetypes.
I remember what I was going to say though. Have you guys seen the music video?
Yes, I don't remember it.
Yes, yeah, I remember. Like
during the breakdown is so funny. It's just like Sam staring at the camera, and he does not look pleased.
I remember now.
Very disinterested. Yeah. God, that's
Because
so
like music
funny.
videos are usually like super fast cuts, but they just leave the extended cut of just the camera looking at Sam
And
for like 4
he's like
seconds.
slightly out of focus, and it's just like, let me see if I can grab a screenshot.
God, that shit is so funny. I hope. Part of me hopes that it's meta and they're just playing into it. Part of me hopes that he's like actually mad about it.
Oh, they are. Have you seen
Good.
Dan? Dan on Twitter is very angry about it.
Well, he can cope. At the end of the day, they're touring off of it. It's their most popular song right now. Like, maybe
You know what? I'm probably gonna buy a ticket.
Yeah, I was about to say if it's coming anywhere near me, that sounds like a good live show.
It's part one of the tour, so I assume there's a second one. If there's,
Maybe.
it's called part one. Anyway,
Justin,
I was about to say
you've been very quiet.
Yeah.
it's his time.
It is my time. I don't know if we talk about this upcoming artist on the podcast, but Reese Young dropped an EP earlier in 2023, and just got signed to UNFD and dropped his new single "Dark."
Never enough. The spark will be brighter. It's calling my bluff. I'm running on empty and everything's tempting. It makes no sense to me. If we die.
Having gone back and listened to that EP and listening to this, I'm kind of glad it's separate. I think a lot of the EP is actually a little bit better than this,
I don't know.
but it's still good.
I was gonna say that this is better than everything off of the Advance EP, other than what's the name of the song? Something Different. I think this is more memorable than everything other than Something Different.
You're weird.
That's a good way to put it, Justin. In like a non-mean way. It's just like so strange to me because I feel like this is so much weaker than the rest of the album. Like it's still.
I
okay,
agree.
but-
Anytime like I listen to this song, I think of Endless Riots. I'm like, Endless Riots is good. Smile.
So something I'm interested in. Hold on, you can keep going, Justin. I'm just trying to look at production credits on this.
Well, I was also just going to mention one thing I really like about this artist is the kind of darker tone to a lot of the instrumentation. That's no secret that I like some artists that do that pretty well. And I feel like it's almost like a driving factor in some of the newer stuff he's put out, especially if anything off of Advance. I feel like that sound was fairly prominent,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a familiar take in this song, but I feel like it's drowned out too much. I don't think there's enough shift in between that darker atmosphere for it to really differentiate itself anything off of the EP, and having that come before this I feel like it makes it a weaker product because of it.
I agree. It's the same. Something I'm interested by is the fact that it's the same producer as Advance. It felt like it was mixed and produced with a little bit less like punchiness to me. I don't know. It just all kind of like blended together a little bit. It's by all means not a bad song, and I'm happy that like, we discovered him before he got signed, so we can say we were here first. But that like also that he's being given a chance, and we've seen on that EP he's got the talent to do it. Would hope that for a new material from somebody who started off with a debut EP that strong, you assume it's just going to get better. So for it to be like, and be a little more iffy on it is, I don't know. I don't want to say discouraging, but now I don't know what the rest of whatever his time with UNFD is going to look like. We'll see.
I'm going back to some of his newer stuff, and apparently he had a fucking Jaden off, I think, Sylar. Apparently he had another EP back in 2022, and he had Jaden from Sylar and the original vocalist of Palisades featuring one of his songs. Why did I never know this?
I didn't either. Wow.
All right, that's
I
going
don't
in
know
the
what I'm
queue.
doing later. Yeah.
I will say, off of Dark, I really like the instrumentation in the solo. Right before the final chorus. I thought it was really familiar, and while it did harken back to the EP, I know I referenced it a lot. I think it separates itself pretty well with that, and just kind of makes it pretty good to go back to. And definitely like look more forward into this artist, because I feel like he's got some phenomenal talent for 58,000 monthly listeners, solo project. Feels like he's done stuff before, like
I was gonna
other
say,
bands.
shit seems very. It almost gives me like not necessarily sonically, but like a Loveless vibe in terms of he might have been writing for other artists for a while or been in the scene for a while before getting into
Well,
music.
Julian was in a band called Remember the Monsters before
Oh yeah,
he got big.
I forgot about
Before
that.
Loveless got real big. I'm trying to see if there was anything immediate off of Reese's stuff to make it known of like what other projects he was on, but I don't see anything. So, oh, he toured with Palisades. That's also why the feature makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. That's about it. I had on this. Check out Reese Young's EP. We may have talked about it at another point in December. I don't know. Go check out the awards.
Hypothetically speaking, we may have mentioned it.
Potentially in a world where that EP may or may not have been in the episode that we recorded, you may or may not be able to hear about it.
Now you're making it obvious.
On what I think, which somebody correct me if I'm wrong, is a new band for the podcast, Spoken, have released their newest single, Reflection. This was another I'm a victim of TikTok moment. There's just this one account that's like, here's a new metalcore song for your playlist. And like half the time it's like, oh yeah, we've been on these guys for a while. And the other time I'm like, who the fuck? Which is nice. It's nice to hear new young metalcore. I feel like Justin sometimes, I'm not gonna lie.
Here's the thing about this band. I don't know if you checked their Spotify bio.
No, I didn't. Let's see.
This band has been around since like the late 90s, apparently.
What the fuck? Wait, one of them looks old. What is this?
Like, yeah, they have an album from 2000.
And they have an album in March of this year dropping. It's their 10th studio album called Reflection.
Well, let's fucking go, boys.
I like Archetypes.
The other thing that's weird about this band is that this band played at Capulet Fest, and I got to hear like a couple of their songs live. But they were playing like right in between like a couple of other bands that I was more interested in seeing, so I didn't really fully pay attention to their set, but I was like, oh, they sound decent. And then I never really ended up digging too much further into it. But now that they're here, I am a little more interested. I will probably be giving that album a listen when it comes out. I don't love this song, but like I enjoyed the like 2 or 3 songs that I heard live when they played at Capulet Fest over the summer last year, and like there's promise in this. I think the clean vocals especially shine in this song. I'm not as huge on the harsh vocals, but they're a little too gritty for me, I feel like, but
it almost
this is just one song, so who's to say?
Them being around for so long makes sense because I feel like the verses, especially like not the pre-chorus, but the verses really have this new metal cadence to them and like instrumentation and I don't know, it makes sense. It reminded me a lot of like a band like Korn, or maybe I guess in the vein of like almost Limp Bizkit-y, not really, but Limp Bizkit in terms of delivery, not in terms of sound. He doesn't sound like oh god, why am I forgetting the lead vocalist of Limp Bizkit? This is like cornerstone scene knowledge, Fred Durst. But I feel like this is a kind of sound in terms of the new metalcore that like outside of bands like Alpha Wolf and certain other ones, like we don't really get it very often. And I really appreciate them leaning into that more. I agree, Jake. I think the clean vocals are definitely the highlight of this. They remind me of the Fallout era Crown the Empire. And that's like a kind of delivery that we kind of get out of New Crown the Empire. Not really. I think this, if I can even make that comparison, maybe also because the chorus has the words "in another life" in it, which like the delivery on that is like my favorite part of the song, bar none. I don't know. It's just like, it feels like they're taking vocal styles that harken back to, I guess, the 2000s, early 2010s, and incorporating them with like a newer, fresher sound. And it's really not something that we get from a lot of bands nowadays, which is nice to hear. I like how slow and wide open the breakdown was too. There wasn't a lot of chugging. There was like chug, open space to just mosh and circle pit. I would love to see this song live. Maybe if they pull up to next Capulet Fest, I'll come pull up, Jake, and we can go.
And we can celebrate my birthday.
Facts. Exactly. It's all coming together. But no, this definitely a band to keep an eye on. I really hadn't checked out their Spotify profile all that much. I'm very surprised they've been around that long, but having heard this song, it also makes sense. So shout out Spoken. I will definitely be listening to this album when it comes out. If there's an album attached to this, sleeper top 10, if the album's anywhere near as good as this for me.
Speaking of sleeper top 10 albums,
I was just about to say.
this next one, maybe not. Letter Sent Home have dropped brand new single, Elements.
The pure and innocent, and the only force we can control is the silence. Leave it alone, save the northern lights, breaking through the night.
And technically the album has been announced, but we're going to save that for the January recap because it wasn't announced at the time of this single dropping. Anyway, Elements is the other half of Letters Sent Home sound. Request Denied is their more pop rock type of energy. This is them leaning into EDM influenced dark pop, and I love it. This band has single-handedly made me fall in love with this type of sound, and I am very happy about it. Just the way that the drop in the chorus unexpectedly hits out of nowhere, but it also just works so well on top of just such a melodic vocal delivery and the piano. It's just, this band can do no wrong, and I say that every time we talk about them.
I really like the big room trap influences on this. It's so, I feel like this is definitely one of those unsung bands that like quietly, or maybe I guess not so quietly, really excels at integrating EDM and electronics into their music. Like Waves was fantastic. This is fantastic.
This is definitely in the same sphere as Waves.
Yeah. A little less melodic, I guess. A little more in your face, but it works. I mean, this almost reminds, it's like Waves and the kind of more aggression side of We're Not Gonna Die kind of like came together, and at least stylistically, and this is the byproduct of it. And I love this. I think this is fantastic. I guess we've heard. Did you listen to the closer?
I've only listened to it about 20 times.
Oh, okay. Maybe a couple.
Maybe a couple times.
It sounds
we are in for a very special treat with this album. Hopefully the rest of the album will live up to the singles, whether it be this one or the ones we've heard since then. But given how consistent this band has been, knock on wood, I have no doubt that they'll be able to pull it off. Might have Jake's earliest top 10 lock of the year.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. More
we
on
could
that
have
next
seen
month.
it coming.
More on that next month. I just want to highlight some of the lyrics in this song. The song name being Elements and the way it ties together in the lyrics of, we're as fierce as fire, as wild as air and lighter, we're as strong as water, as broken as the earth. It's a little cheeky, but it works.
It works.
Anyways, let's move on. Rivals have dropped brand new single, Nobody Loves Me.
This fucks.
And yeah, this is really good. I didn't spend a ton of time with this song. Of the 3 Jake picks that we have here, I think this is the one I spent the least amount of time with, actually. Which may come as a surprise, but we'll get to the next song after this. Rivals are as incredible as ever. Kaylee sounds as incredible as ever. This is their first release since Seb and Mickett left the band, so it's just Kaylee and Josh as a 2-piece now, with like touring musicians backing them up. And they have not missed a beat. I feel like Kaylee is just leaning into like, I don't, the baddie type of thing even more.
Yeah.
Like it's been a trend like over the past like year or two that they have been leaning more into the baddie type of persona, and they nail it.
Baddie core. We're saying it
This
on the podcast.
this isn't baddie core. This isn't baddie core. We're not.
Do we have
Not
any
too
baddie core in the playlist this month?
I think there's arguably one,
Arguably one, yeah.
but
Shout out Baddie Core,
I
shout
also
out
feel
Baddie Core.
like this is one of the heaviest songs that they have put out in a while. Compared to everything off of like their last few songs, like compared to Maneater, They Don't Love You, like Bleeding Star was fairly heavy, but I feel like even still, this chugs a lot harder. This chugs probably the most since Fake Rich, which was like 3 years ago at this point, 4 years ago maybe even. Not 3 years ago, I think.
That's still probably my favorite Rival song.
Yeah, Fake Rich is incredible. I will forever remember when I saw them live and the chills that I got when the breakdown of Fake Rich hit. Like, goddamn. Not my favorite Rival song. Are You Listening means a little too much to me at this point, but Fake Rich is an honorable second.
I feel like their description for themselves on Spotify is alternative dark pop rock, and I feel like they just nailed every single adjective that I would have used to describe the genre of this song. Like they hit the nail on the head with that. Like they have found their sound. I feel like these past couple of singles, and even if this one is, like you said, I agree it's a bit heavier, I feel like they've really just dialed in on perfecting the specific side of pop rock. This is fucking fantastic. I love this band. Shout out Rivals. Shout out Kaylee. Shout out
Josh on the drums.
Pterodactyl threesomes, or whatever it was.
That too. Yep, true.
God damn it.
Reset the counter. Days without
Feel
work.
any shame? Are you feeling any shame? Haha, funny transition moment. The City Is Ours has released a brand new single, Shame. Now, in a similar vein to Thirst by Cold State, which we talked about earlier in this episode, The City Is Ours have come back pissed as fuck.
They're mad.
They're mad, and this is one of the... I listened to the song, and I'm like, oh, that's in the I'm fucking pissed playlist. There are some, like, shorter, super heavy songs that are a little too much for me, and then there's others that hit that I'm fucking pissed type of sound that I'm looking for, and oh boy, does this one hit it. The delivery on I think it's all in my head because all I can feel is shame, and then the pause for the riff and the chorus, and then I think it's happening again. Just the delivery on those lines are just incredible, and not to mention the instrumentation on the song. Just it gets heavier and heavier as the song progresses. This is one of those songs that it's under 3 minutes and it's pissed off, and you can kind of just throw it on repeat for a while and get mad and stomp your feet around and have a good time too.
I really like that. I don't know what to call it, guitar switch up a little bit around like the minute 20 mark. Do you know what I mean? Like it's that I was feeling it, and then that hit, and I was like, oh, okay. I see where we are. I see what's going on here.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they've been on such an upward trend since their 2019 album. Like the 2019 album was like good.
It had some good songs. It had some good songs, but it had some meh songs.
Yeah.
And then their last album was mostly really good, in my opinion anyway.
I agree.
This is a promising start for whatever's coming next. I assume it's another album, because they've been quiet for a fair bit at this point. A lot of pissed off metalcore this month, actually.
There was a surprising amount of pissed off metalcore for January.
Maybe that's a trend for 2024.
December.
The return of pissed off metalcore, and December's just a teaser. Because generally 2023 was an underwhelming year for metalcore, we feel like. So maybe December is like giving us a tease for what 2024 has to offer. Who knows?
It's a whisper of the year to come.
Not,
I just realized.
not looking too good. Justin and I are.
I was about to say, when you have me, on the other hand, I don't think I put off any pissed off metalcore.
No pissed off metalcore from Justin or Jacob. Actually, I realized we all have 3-song runs this month in the playlist. I just noticed we got through Jake's, we did mine. We're about to do Justin's and Jacob's at the end.
Jacob's got a few. Save the best for last. All right.
Yeah, that's what we do here at the Hivemind. Every award season.
Leave are back with their newest single, When I'm Gone.
This is
Ben
solid.
Fox.
Yeah.
They can't. I feel like everything you've shown of me has been so like undeniably solid. Like there's no cracks in it. Like it's just it exists and it's very good. I don't know how else to put it.
This, Dead Dreams, and Voices we talked about on the podcast this year. I don't feel like we talked about I Just Feel Worse. Those are all the singles that were released this year. But Leave have been on a tear this year with what they've put out. Previously, I was really going into Absence and Phantom, and all of the releases they've put out this year have been really, really good. You've got really good vocal delivery all throughout the song. You've got a really catchy chorus. The lyric implementation with the instrumentals works really well. His vocal cadence during the chorus, when it shifts into maybe I'll start losing sleep when I'm gone, really, really good. It's got a really good catchy guitar solo into a instrumental breakdown with a little bit of a harsher vocals, not heavy, but you can definitely tell it's not the same cadence that he's singing throughout the most of the song, and it just works. I don't know if this is off of anything. I want to hope it's an album this year, 2024. I'm saying, but 4 singles. They're on the rise.
These are definitely some of their best songs. I still think Absence is really strong. There's one other single prior to this year that was really good. I forget which one it was.
Phantom was the one that I liked.
It might have been Phantom. I still think Dead Dreams is the best of these 4 singles. This is
I think you may be thinking of Abyss. I remember
Abyss,
us talking about Abyss. Abyss was good.
Either way, Leave are definitely on the upturn, and very curious to see what they have coming into the new year. I didn't spend a ton of time with this song because the other 3 singles I just talked about were a little more captivating to me, but I have no complaints with this.
They also have only 5,000 monthly listeners, and they sound like they have like 25,000.
Yeah, it needs to be that number.
Do I need to mention Letters Sent Home only have 8,000?
That's still look. We are the masters of finding these small bands
on it.
Sound like they. We are doing our part, okay? These bands
we are trying.
The world.
We are trying.
Speaking of up and coming bands, we got Lost in Hollywood dropping their next single, "Lost Without You."
Justin, I have to ask you, is there a specific like band or artist that this band reminds you of? Because when I listened to this, there was one in particular and I couldn't place it. And I was hoping that maybe you'd made a comparison and could tell me. Because it was like nagging the shit out of me.
Oh God. I couldn't tell you, thinking of it off the top of my head.
I guess I'll just have to listen to a really good song more. Oh no.
Oh no.
This is really good.
They're 2 for 2.
They are
Beauty of
really 2 for 2.
Beauty of Death was really good. This is also really good.
This might be even better. And Beauty of Death was really good.
I feel like Beauty of Death, the best part about it is that you get the difference in vocal tone. This, you get a difference in instrumentation throughout the song. Like
I love the way the song builds.
It builds really well, and it works really well. Given that the single artwork is the same as the Beauty of Death, I can only imagine this is part of some sort of thing releasing at some point, whether it be EP or album, but they all seem attached. Whatever it is, it's gonna sound really good. Following Leave, like, they've got another really good instrumental breakdown that brings in some electronics in it too. It all works so well.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add. I love the way this song builds, and it hits an emotional chord that I think whether it's an EP or an album, I think this is going to be a very important it's going to be a very important song on whatever it releases with, and just like setting the emotion and the tone for the whole listening experience. It really hits that emotional chord for me, and with the vocal delivery especially, but the lyrically too.
Derek, that question's bothering me now. I have to know. Hold on.
Right? Like it's it pissed me off because I'm like, this sounds so specifically like somebody else, like another good band. I can't think of what it is.
I wanted to say Sleeping with Sirens, but his vocal delivery isn't that high.
I'll just have to listen to the song more. We can report back with our findings.
Oh no. All right, we got Galleons back with their 4th single off of their upcoming album, Violent Delights. This is titled Dead Man Wonderland, featuring Rio of X Crystal Lake, now Gnosis.
There's nothing left for us now. We've gone our separate ways. Don't look up, don't look down.
All right, I gotta know, how does everyone feel about this?
This is the second best single behind Dungeon Dweller.
Okay.
I hate to disappoint, Justin. I don't think this album cycle's hooked me yet. I have heard rumors from a guy on Twitter who's had the full album for a couple months that there are some other songs on here that have piqued my attention. But so far, with the single releases, this included, I felt very okay about it. There aren't any bad ones. I don't think Galleons can put out like a bad song by any means. I mean, it's Tom Byrne, right? Like it's
Right.
the floor here is very high, but I don't know. I'm still missing a lot of that almost mystical wonder that first album had. That the peaks of what was the 2021 album? I want to say
Is there self-titled?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I want to say Werewolf. I'm like, no, it's just a really good song off of it. I feel like the peaks of that album have not been hit with these singles, so I'm left like, like it's good. I will never not like a Galleon song, but I'm not super invested in this or the album cycle so far.
Yep, and I kind of agree. Going off of these last 4 singles, I don't quite remember how I was during the single run of their self-titled. But I'm also kind of like half and half on these singles. My favorites being Violent Delights and this. The song is really good. I think Rio does a really great job as a feature in this. He's very prominent throughout the song, and I feel like the style in this song really fits how his vocal dynamic works. Also, the snake in the album artwork referencing his Gnosis project, I thought was also really smart.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
But all in all, I kind of agree. The one thing I'm missing is, I would say, there's some sort of instrumentation that I enjoy from Galleons, especially during their self-titled, that I feel like is missing. I got it a lot from Yokosaba Dare, but I didn't, for some reason, it didn't resonate with me all that much to keep playing back to it all that often. It's also why I didn't include that or Dungeon Dweller in the recent recaps. But I wanted to throw this in because I thought the Rio feature would be different enough to, turn some heads a little bit.
Yeah.
He is dropping the closer in January, featuring Idola, Andrew Wells. And I have to stop myself from listening to that, but I may give in and listen to it because the teaser they posted is really good.
Yeah, that teaser was insane. That's one of the main ones that's like giving me hope for the rest of the album. Like, it sounded really fucking good.
But Tom is phenomenal. All of this sounds great. I enjoy the verses, like after Rio's feature, where it Tom's vocals have that like very very familiar air to like a Trent Woodley. Which, by the way, we didn't include that Hands Like House single for good reason. We would probably shit on it.
I thought it was good.
But all in all, Galleons is good. I kind of expected to be at where I'm at when it comes to trying to turn heads on this, but it is what it is.
I'm sure we'll discuss the full album in February when it comes out. So.
Oh, you can't stop me. Sorry.
February is going to be an interesting month for albums now that I think of it.
We already have like, what, 3 or 4?
It's Galleons, Normandy, and Amaranth. They're all dropping albums in February. And I
What
feel
was
like
the one
all
that
three
was
of those
dropping?
are very
Sewer
interesting.
Person as well?
Yeah, I think that's on the 2nd.
February is going to be
I wanna say.
interesting.
February is
Something
going
for
to be
everybody.
March 2023.
Not me.
Something for everybody.
Yes.
Normandy's for me. Normandy's for me.
Potentially.
Yes.
Time will tell.
I'll get that rabbit.
Derek, I have you to thank for this next one.
I got you.
Also,
I'm assuming
you're
this was,
the reason.
I'm assuming this was a TikTok algorithm find.
This was recommended to me on YouTube, actually. I literally this month, or I guess last month, and this month too, I suppose. I don't know what the fuck happened. I never look up scene music on YouTube. I never interact with anything about it on TikTok, and suddenly both apps just decided, here, have a couple songs. They're all really fucking good. So,
anyways, let's talk about it. Gore have dropped their debut single, "Pray."
Takes you away. Could you
This is the good shit. This
nice
is
little woman core for Jake.
very womancore up my alley. Add it to the collection.
Her vocals are so beautiful, man.
Yeah. The slow delivery on "Pray" and the chorus and like the extended delivery on it. And then like you hit the high note on the second delivery of it. It's just so good. And then she also hits like those harsher vocals at times in the song too. The song opens up like heavy out the gates and then like slows down melodically. Like I feel like we've been saying for a while, but bands are coming out with such impressive debut singles. And just like debut releases in general, that like the bar is so high.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this year alone, like several bands have just come out of the gates running.
And this band's got a lot of traction right now. They're at 52,000 monthly listeners. The song's got 146,000 streams.
Damn.
For being a debut is crazy.
And they
But
have
it's
also
beyond
announced another
deserved.
single for January and a debut EP coming this year. So I'm very interested to hear that. I'm sure we'll be talking about more from them heading into 2024, but this was a very promising start, and I'm glad that you showed me this on January 1st, not December 31st. So if it comes to it, I can declare this band my favorite find of 2024.
Perfect.
Honestly, like, literally the past 3 years, my favorite band I've discovered, I have found in like the last 2 weeks of December the prior year.
It feels like it could be, no? Like, I don't know.
This, it's potential.
Just off virtue of how fucking good this band is. I mean, the instrumentals, the vocals, everything about this is so...
The bar is so high.
It is. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't know if there's like a bunch of different resources or if it's just like the scene is more accessible, but you're right. There's so many fucking new, incredible bands and artists out of the gate or that have only been around for like a year that, like, I mean, good for us to get the good shit, but I'm just surprised in the best possible way.
Yeah. Pass it back over to you, Derek. I got nothing else to add here.
We got to get a little chill on them. Nessa Barrett is back with her newest single, Girl in New York.
You easily forget about me riding in a yellow taxi back to your hotel, and she's coming.
Now, Nessa Barrett has always been kind of scene adjacent. She blew up around the same time, about like 2020, 2021, I think, as a lot of other artists did. Machine Gun Kelly comes to mind. It's like kind of in that, she's not as obnoxious or untalented as Machine Gun Kelly, but like it's that same sort of thing that like people came in and kind of rode that pop punk wave and started making pop rock and alt rock and that sort of thing. One thing that I really appreciated about this, because I haven't listened to new Nessa Barrett material in 2 years. And what I used to listen to was like fun, enjoyable, like just a good listen, something you have on in the background, like a 7.5, 8 out of 10, whatever. And now as time has gone on, I happened to just go back and listen to this and one of her other newer songs, what was it called? Dying on the Inside. And they've gotten really like personal and deep in a way that I feel like has been lacking from certain artists. Maybe the closest I would call it would be like an Olivia Rodrigo, but not really. If like that would be maybe if I had to like pick a reference, the closest that would like make sense. What I really enjoyed about this is just how well like she delivers it with this style. Like it's just mellow, it's chill. You can still hear a little bit of the alt influences, but the pop and kind of low, moody vibe is there. It's sad, but in a way that's like I'm kind of like swaying like a slow song that you would find on an album rather than something that's like objectively just like emo and depressing, you know? It's just an easy listen that like I feel like anybody who has been in like a rocky relationship or one where like you're the other person can kind of relate to. And that's what I really enjoy is that like, take fucking Emo Girl. I'm going to riff on Machine Gun Kelly again. His music, people can't relate to that shit. If you do, I don't understand because like it's so bland and uninteresting and unspecific and lame. When you have artists like Nessa Barrett that have, I think she's almost at like 6 million monthly listeners who are making this kind of alt pop rock or alt pop punk sound, not for this song, but just in general, that they can still keep that personality and that identity, I feel like is really impressive, which is why I had to add this, I guess, because it surprised me. I listened to the song a lot. I've been on a Nessa Barrett kick recently. Like, definitely, Jake, I think if there's anybody here that I would encourage to look into her discography, maybe Jacob too, but I think you would find a lot to like here if you haven't already listened to some.
I thought this was okay. I didn't really care for this all too much. Like, it was fine.
A lot of her other music is much more upbeat and has like more guitar driven stuff in it and that sort of thing. Okay. So, yeah, but anyway, quick little Nessa plug. Jacob, it's time for your 3-song run.
What do I know? Nothing. I know nothing. Guardin has released The Loneliest Place in the World.
What do I do when I feel like I'm no good? I rid of my friends and my folks, rid of
Derek, how we feel about this one?
You know, I think out of the last 3 December single drops that he's done, this is the weakest. I would rank this 3rd behind Waterproof and Bad Luck, but I also think that this is really fucking good.
We also had what was it? Lying Awake at Night, right?
Yes.
Last year.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, well then this is 3rd above that, I would say. I did like that too, but God, there really is just something about a Guardin song with a lot of repetition over this kind of beat that's just so clinical. Like,
I may not be the biggest Guardin enjoyer, but I enjoyed this more than I expected to. I'm not gonna lie, fellas.
Let's go.
This is probably like I listened to this and it caught me off guard, because for the most part, a lot of Guardin songs, like the typical emo rap type of sound, doesn't really resonate with me. But the like more up tempo of this, kind of similar to Monday in a way, where like I kind of resonated with Monday back when that came out earlier this year. This is probably like my second favorite Guardin song of the year, I would say.
Damn.
Admittedly, I've only ever listened to any Guardin song like 2, maybe 3 times, but
in typical
I
Guardin
forgot he
fashion.
released a song called Monday, and I thought that was a genuine response.
Dude, it's typical Guardin fashion. One of your favorite Guardin songs of the year has to drop in December. It's the perpetual curse of being a Guardin fan. You will get some sort of release.
I also think lyrically, I can resonate to this a little more than some of his other stuff.
Yeah, that's what I love about it. Like, it's very repetitive, but it's something like I relate to. Is just like Deadly Sin of Sloth, you know, go stay inside all the time and not want to do anything, and then claim that you're lonely because
kill the
you're
lights.
because you're lazy.
I think like second guessing the actions that you do, like in this, what is the line in here? Oh fuck, where is it? I can't find. Oh yeah, criticize every line that I once wrote. What do I know? What do I know? Like the level
Imposter
of
syndrome.
and the level of overthinking that comes from like staying inside all the time, and like the paradox of being lonely but not bringing yourself out to maintain those relationships or seek them out. And no, definitely something that I can relate to as well. Which, like, fuck's sake, why everything he drops, I feel like in one way or another,
dude, you know why?
Relatable. Like,
because December's depressing.
It is.
Like, no, just
Fuck, you're
winter
right.
in general.
You're right.
Winter in general, dude.
Dude,
That's what it is.
Oh, God, you're so real for that. December's got to be my least favorite month of the year for that exact reason. But shout out Guardin to always be putting out something that we can find and relate and listen to, and when we're feeling that way in December, because fuck, shit's hard enough without an extra Guardin track or 2 to keep us company.
Or 4.
Or 4, yeah. That's what he said. Oh yeah, you had 1 song last December? Here's fucking 4. Fuck you. My bad, man.
More on that later.
Yeah, more on that very soon.
How do we feel about Ghost Atlas?
Battered books, prop succulents, collecting dust around the edge, a lifeline of resilience unrefined.
These 2 singles made me pre-order the album.
Oh,
That's
really?
how I feel. Yeah.
On
Dude.
your broken record player?
Yeah, I'm a record player that I haven't set up in the year since I moved. Because I can't
You know what?
plugin for it.
You know what? The beginning of Seeker reminds me of is it's a song on their new album. I want to say, I just need to see the track list and I'll be able to tell you.
I think I know which one you're talking about. But
Memory Fiction, maybe.
I was gonna say it's either Memory Fiction or Vanish Canvas. I can't remember which. Or maybe it's a closer. What is the closer on that album?
Memory Fiction.
Yeah. Then I think you're right. I think it's Memory Fiction.
Fiction.
Yeah. Piano, Jesse Cash, what more do you need, really? Like, ever. I don't know. I really I like how you can tell that it's Jesse Cash. Well, obviously, because it's fucking Jesse Cash, but like, if you hear this, you hear the semblances between this and Era, but he's able to expand on it so much more because there's no like need for a breakdown or a chunky riff. Like, you can do more storytelling with the guitar. Like, even Seeker Stretch the Night, my hazy eyes in a California dreamscape, screaming my lungs out, speeding from the cops, crossing double lines, sleepless nights, dimensions undefined, Seeker, breathe all the love you can find. Like, it's just beautiful. The guitar, his voice, it's ethereal in Era too, but it's a different vibe to it. Whereas here you can just encapsulate it all in one song. It's just like, I feel like every song that he's put out, maybe for Ghost Atlas in general, but especially this album cycle, has been like the equivalent of a 10 p.m. drive where nobody's on the road and it's like 73 degrees out. Like, it's just such a breath of fresh air.
Do we need to update the Drive Core playlist with a Ghost Atlas song?
Honestly, I would be willing to put Seeker in there. I guess what I really appreciate about this is that it evokes the same sensation in me that a band like Floya does. But Floya to me represents daytime or like the dawn, and Ghost Atlas is more like the dusk or nighttime. I think that's like the best way I can put it. And
yeah, I get it.
It's just so well executed. Both of these songs, I really, really fell in love with. This has taught me also that Ghost Atlas is more popular than I thought they were, and Era is less popular than I thought they were, just in terms of monthly listeners. Like, Era is at like 389,000, I think, and Ghost Atlas is 227. Yeah, it feels weird, right? Like,
I also think it's probably that Ghost Atlas is releasing new music and Era hasn't really released much of anything lately.
Very true.
So Era's numbers probably are higher when they are releasing music, and Ghost Atlas is probably lower when, not releasing new music for multiple years.
I don't know. Era just feels like such a scene staple to me. But I think we're getting new material from them soon, I want to say. Hopefully.
I get Era vibes from the In the House of Leaves. Especially like the guitar, of course.
The vocals too, I would say.
Very technical.
Sorry.
It feels more technical than like a regular Ghost Atlas song for me anyway.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the more mathy of the two, I guess would be a way to put it. They're both fantastic though. Do you have a preference? Do you like In the House of Leaves more than Seeker?
I think I like Seeker more.
I'm right there with you. There's a new single out, I think, this month too, that I haven't listened to, but
I think the album also comes out this month.
Is that another February or is it January?
No, it's
January. We're gonna be starting off January very strong. I think this is gonna. I think I'm gonna fix my record player for this album. I think is what I'm gonna do. I'll pull it up on vinyl because this to me feels like, I don't know. There's something about this that I feel like I need to listen to it on a record player.
What other
it's just the vibes.
albums do we have?
I don't know.
The only other one I know other than this is Charlotte Sands is dropping her debut album. But I don't know if we're going to be talking about that one.
I'd be down to. I mean, I feel like I haven't heard any of the singles off of it, I don't think. But, I mean, it's Charlotte Sands. Like, come on. Like,
how many tracks is this album going to be?
I believe 10 or 11.
Okay.
I'm not 100%. There are 4
So
singles.
I don't know if I'm going to listen to that last single. Then I'll probably just wait. If it was like 13 or 15, I would have been like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Wait.
really don't know.
Oh, okay. So
What?
If I Were You was the band I thought If Not For Me was.
Yeah, me too.
And I know why that was confusing. So I was like, them and Dead by April also have albums dropping in January.
Okay. That makes sense. Good. We'll have a couple good ones to talk about, hopefully. Hopefully they'll meet and exceed expectations.
There's 12 songs.
Okay, good. So what, 4
we
singles?
haven't so In the House of Leaves is track 11.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't got the opener or the closer yet.
Good. Oh, take fucking notes, everybody else. That's how you do it.
I will give Letters Sent Home an exception.
They do get a pass, yeah.
Letters Sent
that's
Home gets a pass.
They get a get out of jail free card.
They can release the closer.
Other bands, Hivemind jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect streaming royalties.
Bro, I'm gonna be. Oh my! January 26th cannot come fast enough.
Factual.
I'm gonna have this on repeat.
Absolutely. I feel like every year needs that January or February album that can like really define the first part of the year. I mean, like obviously we had the Death of Peace of Mind in 2022. I'm hoping that this will be that for at least one of us.
For me, it was 5 Sleep Token singles last year.
Last year, I was riding the wave of Concrete Castle's Phantom Elite and As Everything Unfolds, dropping a bunch of singles. That was the only thing keeping me going. There was a long drought of albums to start out 2023.
Alrighty, Justin.
All right, let's finish up singles. We got 1 to 2 more coming up. First up, CANTERVICE dropping their next single, Where Do We Stand?
Where do we stand? Here in a world that is fucking gray, filled with voices of pain, we turned away. Why only fighting for pain?
This fucks.
Announce the album, cowards!
Right.
How many singles are we in?
This
6?
is ever since The Machine has dropped. Everything else is singles. So 5.
5? Okay.
This
Yeah.
is Void is here too.
Void is just their Discog. It's from
why
what
is
I
it
know,
on
they're
this-
not including it on the album.
Huh. Interesting that it's here and when you click on
I think it's just Spotify being Spotify. I was not expecting a slower pace song, and I really like how they did it, and it works super well.
They
with their
they
sound.
nailed it for like this
Yeah,
is
this
the first song of this style that they've ever done. They absolutely knocked it out of the park. I think they completely nailed the slow build type of archetype of a rock ballad.
This is another beauty brainchild from Cameron Mizell, the guy who produced the vocals for the Memphis Mayfire album last year. No, 2022.
That checks out. This has a very I don't want to say the fight within exactly, but like I get those same sort of vibes from this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh-oh. Is it a closer?
I don't know, Justin.
It could be.
I don't have a track list. I had no idea.
What do you mean?
It just had a stroke.
Yo, bro, are you
Jacob has
okay?
the stroke over the possibility of a song being the closer.
It's because we're so
Bro,
sick
it's,
of this
it's
shit,
like
man.
heaven and hiding all over again.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm hopeful it's not. Like when we go back and we look at all 5 of these songs,
It's so
like
over.
I feel like the Masquerade or the Blackout could lead into one of the other singles. I feel like this could also be a good either lead in or like a good break in between like some of the higher end energy songs. And I don't know, just a lot of the song is done really well, and I would hate that it would be put on a spot in an album that would tear the enjoyment of it.
Yeah, I agree.
Can I say something
But-
really unhinged?
Questionably, go ahead.
Potentially. To me, this song is either like a track 7 of 12, or it's a track 9 of 10, or it's the closer. Does that make any sense?
No, that's
Yes.
about perfect. That's
I'm gonna have a
perfect,
stroke.
Actually, yeah. It's too much for Jacob.
I can't comprehend what you just said.
This is either the slow ballad somewhat in the middle of an album. I'm thinking like
Got it.
kind of like a My Own Device by Archetypes Collide type of thing, or a Paranoid and Paralyzed, maybe. Or this is like I'm thinking back to like Future Palace's debut album, where it's you get Break Free into My Air. Where Do We Stand is the break free, and then there's going to be something after it. Or this is just the closer. It has all of that type of energy.
Here's a good way to answer this. Rob and anyone else at CANTERVICE, just drop the fucking album with
Coward.
a track list, all the merch. I'm gonna pre-order that shit. You can't stop me.
I was gonna say we need this. We need this expeditiously.
Drop it this year. 2024, not 2023. That shit's over with. 2024 is all we need. I don't need any more albums. 2023. We're done with that year. Get out of here.
With the strength of all the singles of these singles, this is already a dark horse top 10 contender.
Oh yeah, no, like
if not a top 10 contender straight up.
Dude,
If they ever announce the album.
Facts. We'll never know.
Ever since the Machine dropped, like this band's been on the high. And I remember when we talked about them, they only had like several thousand, maybe not even that monthly listeners.
Yeah, where they at now?
52,000.
Good.
Yeah.
As they should be.
Hell yeah, fixed. Helping the boys. By the way.
Shall we talk about another band that is deservedly getting the recognition?
Criminally underrated for at the start and now finally getting on the rise. We got Nightlife back with their new single, Face to Face. Off of an upcoming quote-unquote mini album dropping early 2024. I think is what Hansel said.
I want to say, I think spring 2024.
Nightlife fucks.
Nightlife does fuck. I gotta say, I think that this might be I don't even know if I can call them recent drops, but like my least favorite of the recent drops. But the problem is that Nightlife's floor is like 99% of the scene's ceiling, so it still is going to be a fucking incredible song. Like, his ability, and this band's ability, really, to find a specific groove and make it work. Like, even that one tweet recently where he was like, I'm in my Timbaland era, right? And then he's like, I just got to find where to put guitars on it. The fact that he can take a track like that and the band can then lay down guitars and everything that work to bring that sort of R&B, hip-hop, pop style into the alternative scene is like, fucking forget about it. No other band is doing this. Issues, well, I guess Issues technically, but Issues was ahead of, rest in peace. Issues was ahead of their time, 110%. The scene was not ready for Beautiful Oblivion. And I feel like Nightlife are the natural progression and answer to that. Like, when I think Issues, I think Nightlife, I think Future of the Scene, I think this soul punk kind of R&B core type of shit that they got going on is bands need to catch up at this point.
No one does it like Nightlife.
No, nobody. And I don't know if anybody will. They should try, because I think a lot more music like this would be
should they
awesome,
try though? Because if they're just going to be like, is it possible to be better than Nightlife at this sound?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, bands that have attempted this similar style, I reference this a lot, but Peach Club by Amorosa, also very similar.
Yep. In
sound, and I feel like if they have if they evolved from that sound instead of doing whatever the fuck they did on Sting, I feel like Amorosa would be a bit more talked about in the scene than they are now. Now Nightlife finally coming in, showing the world how Amorosa should have been.
Yep.
And now reviving Issues, like, Nightlife are killing it, and they are, low-key going to be the face that's talked about this year in 2024.
Yeah, them finally having a full, like, they've had EPs, but if they can get, like you said, a mini album, I don't know if it's going to be like Bill Murray style, or it's like 7 to 8 tracks or whatever, but just, this band's going to be fucking unstoppable, dude. There's that. I have nothing but praise for the, in my opinion, weakest song that they've dropped in a little bit. It's still just so good, and they're so undeniable.
It's not even that it's weak, it's just that everything else that they've put
so
out has been so good. And we're talking about it now, and like when this probably drops as part of the mini album, it's probably gonna be like one of the higher songs on that, if not the entire album, just killing it.
Yeah, I have complete faith in whatever misgivings I have about this song, which I can't even place. It's literally just the fact that it doesn't feel like it matches up to their other material. But like, I know I'm gonna love it. It's like that. That's the nightlife guarantee. Is I'm gonna love every song, and if I don't love it, I will eventually. There's nothing stopping this band at this point. It's if you're not listening now, listen again in the future. Get on the hype train before it's too late because you're gonna miss it. This band's. If they don't pop off, I will be genuinely surprised. I think they're way too talented not to.
Agreed. But it does make me sad that no other band will probably sound like this. So the sound becomes few and far between, so I have to take it where I can get it.
Yeah, exactly. This, oh man, it just makes me mad that not many other people are doing this.
Right.
Everybody had all the time in the world with issues, man. Now you got all the time in the world with nightlife. Fucking push the scene forward, damn it. Like, it's such an untapped side of the scene that people really should be getting into. Whatever. In the meantime, we'll take nightlife any chance we can get it. Happy we're finally getting an album. Mini album or not, I'll take it.
All right, now we got to collect some royalties. Jacob, lead us into the EPs.
So we're in EPs, and first one is Archetypes Collide with the After Hours EP.
I always feel so cold. Will I ever be satisfied with conquering my goal? The pedestal is up.
Good name.
Yeah.
I wonder where they got it from, assholes.
Now, we're not accusing anybody of anything. Just if you guys want to slide us like a 5 or a 20, like, it's okay. We'll take it.
Yeah.
Got to put a roof over our heads somehow.
What are you talking about? One of these has over 200,000 monthly plays. A little bit more than that.
$25. Take it or leave it.
Dude, I can't believe Destiny's the least played.
It's
also
probably because his most recent drop. Yeah.
It is the best one by far.
I disagree. I think My Own Device is actually the best song on here. And I think in part that has to be because I found My Own Device to be one of the weakest songs on the self-titled album. But this remix gives it a new life that I think the song should have had originally. And this After Hours remix of My Own Device has made me enjoy the original song more, going back to it now. Whereas Destiny and Fade Away were already incredible songs, and I feel like these After Hours versions of them are both solid. I feel like My Own Device elevates the original song even more.
My Own Device is a really good, like, synthy style to it that I wasn't expecting, but I kind of fucked with it.
It reminds me of some of like Dayseeker's reimagined stuff, or even some of the Normandy White Flag reimagined stuff, like the Don't Need You synth remix or whatever that they did a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
You thought we were going to get Rick rolled at the beginning of it?
What?
Never mind.
I'm confused.
It's fine.
I think my favorite, I don't know. I like Fade Away because of the lyrics and Kyle's vocal dynamics. I think really work well in the remix. But Destiny also sounds really, really good in this style.
See, Jake, I think the problem I have with My Own Device is the vocal style doesn't really change. It still sounds like he's like screaming kind of, as opposed to Destiny. It sounds like they re-recorded it.
That's fair. I don't know. I really liked what they did with the remix of My Own Device. I don't know. Made me happy.
I think the takeaway is that more bands need to do like remixes and like things of their songs like this.
Make sure they're good though.
Yeah, for real.
Yo,
Which-
fucking Nevertell is ahead of the game on that.
I was just about to say, man, like Archetypes Collide did a good
I'm ready
job
for this
here.
Dayseeker acoustic album coming. Right?
Mhm.
Is it an album or EP? I can't remember.
It's an album.
Big
There's also the full-length deluxe of the Death of Peace of Mind coming. The same sort of thing.
Concrete Forever or whatever.
Yeah. I think it's another 12 to 15 tracks, I want to say. I'm not 100% positive.
Nice.
That shit is going to sell for $8 bajillion on vinyl. They're about to make so much fucking money. Not to take away from Archetypes Collide too much, but there I'll be for the drop.
Bad Omens and Archetypes Collide should tour.
They should. Both. Well, I was about to say, I feel like, I don't know why. I know Bad Omens is local to me in Richmond. I feel like they're a fucking Connecticut band in my head. I don't know why.
Why don't we get an acoustic set from, like, it's like the whole tour is acoustic. Someone needs to do that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, bands who are listening, just gave you a free idea. Take it or leave it.
Big idea.
The problem is that would probably be hella expensive because acoustic sets usually are like a VIP treatment because they're more personable.
Oh god, yeah. Imagine Bad Omens is like a
but they could
cap tour type of
that would cost $11 bajillion.
Resale tickets going for a mortgage down payment.
They'd be going for a lost child.
Sold my house to go to the acoustic set.
Oh boy.
Anyways, Archetypes Collide After Hours EP, Good Smile.
Very good smile.
Arrogant. Smile.
Especially Destiny. Smile.
My own device.
Also Fade Away. Smile.
See, we all like a song. That just proves how good it is.
Exactly.
Shout out Archetypes Collide as a whole.
Yeah, shout out that band.
For real.
They tour with weird bands, but
Come
shout
back
out
to
that
Connecticut.
band.
I know you've been here 4 times, but I've been out of state all 4 times.
How about
They're avoiding you, Jake.
How about we put like Hivemind on the TV on the cover album art there.
I just really want to put Hivemind on a TV, just undisclosed somewhere out in the world. There's just this random portion of our logo just out.
We'll get a Times Square billboard.
Yo,
I was thinking more old school Radio Shack, just on a CRT in the window.
We can,
but
use
sure,
our,
Times Square that works.
Dude, we'll go like out into the country where the billboards are cheap.
Yeah, facts.
Put one there.
We'll use all the money that we got from Justin behind the paywall to pay for it.
Yeah, between Justin's paywall and the royalties from Archetypes Collide, I'm sure we can afford those.
Look, all I'm saying is they have to spend money to see me, so I think I'm winning in this.
For legal reasons, this is a joke. Anyway, Justin. Talk about the next EP.
That's our host.
We've got Save Us, literally, dropping their EP Lucid.
Just got the literally. Dang it. Now, am I tripping, or did we potentially mention this in the awards episode? I feel like somebody told me to listen to this.
Look, all I'm saying is go check out the Best EPs awards show.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really scuffed.
We would never.
No.
I mean, it was really good.
Smile.
We may have talked about all these EPs that were released in December. Except for the one that was...
Except Sakoya coming up.
As a kind of a side note, the Sakoya EP technically released in August. Just the Deluxe had one new song they released this month. So I used it as an excuse to add the entire EP. Anyway,
Okay.
Save Us.
Where?
Yeah, Save
Where
Us.
was I? Yeah. I really like the atmosphere of this entire EP. I make note of this quite a bit when it comes up, when stuff I like is put in the playlist, but usually I really like that kind of dark, haunting atmosphere that kind of doesn't bring in a lot of instrumentals, but still leaves a lot to the imagination. Nightmare is perfect for this. I feel like it's a really good opener into the EP. My favorite track off this being New Light. I think the New Light as a whole, top to bottom, really flows well together. But this is just a really good, clean package, top to bottom. This is a debut EP, if I remember. Yeah, debut EP.
Dude, I still gotta listen to it, man. This is a problem. I feel like in December is I always get so fucking burnt out from music for everything else. So like we mention a bunch of shit that I'm like, oh shit, I need to go back and listen to that because I don't remember it or I didn't hear it or whatever. And then January comes and I forget. So thank you for you reminding me. I'm gonna put this as the first thing and listen later.
You're welcome. That's may have been the only reason why I put this in.
Bro needed to
not that it released in
listened to half
December or
of
anything.
this. I listened to half of this by watching the music videos that released. I really enjoyed Endless. Endless is definitely my favorite. Of the
Endless
singles.
is also really good.
Really solid chorus. The atmosphere is great. I'm very curious to give the rest of the songs that I haven't heard a listen. Solid debut EP. I don't think it would have made anywhere near my like top 10 EPs of last year. But like it's everything I heard was solid, and this band definitely has potential. Endless was definitely the standout for me though.
They are definitely one of the more prominent Dreambound bands that are on the rise in the last couple months. So it's good to see they're popping off quite well with this debut EP. Derek, if I have to give any of one of these songs like a you must listen to, I would say Distance is probably going to be the one that stands out for you.
Done deal. Know what I'm listening to tomorrow.
Cool. Let me know.
Up next, this is something that I threw in to make up for the fact that August was fucked. Because guess what day this, so, actually, let me just, let's talk about the deluxe edition of Sakoya's self-titled debut EP. Sakoya Deluxe Edition.
You think that you can break me, but this love is just a spell.
This comes with one new song, Break, featuring Josh of Catch Your Breath. And it is the best song that Sakoya has ever put out, and it's not particularly close.
Oh, damn. It's a broad claim.
This band is very much hard rock.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you listen to the main EP itself and the 5 songs on it, it is hard rock. No real harsh vocals. You get some like instrumental heavier parts, but it is pretty bog standard hard rock, and I enjoy that for the most part. But getting that hint of uncleans with Josh from Catch Your Breath on Break is such a welcome addition. Not to mention that I think even without the feature, Break would be one of their best songs. It's super catchy. The melody is huge. The chorus is huge. Josh's heavy verse and the breakdown is incredible. Low-key, like, this came out in December, and I was like, shit, do I have a feature of the year contender coming in at the last minute? I think it's that good. Ultimately, I didn't spend enough time with it, nor do lyrics exist for this song anywhere on the internet yet for me to really dissect it enough. But, yeah, Break is an incredible song. And I think that the main EP itself has some solid songs on there. I think Cynical is the best song on here. And A Way Out has a really catchy riff. Wandering is their most popular song and is really solid. What You Need. Sakoya, I don't think they have put out a bad song. I just don't think they have really hit the peaks that I've been hoping that they would until the release of Break. So I'm very happy that this deluxe edition exists and very happy that I have the chance to even talk about this band. Because I haven't talked about this band in a long time. I threw in some of their first singles back in like 2021, I want to say. But their self-titled EP had the unfortunate release date of August 25th, the same day as Concrete Castles and Hot Milk and The Word Alive and like 7 bajillion other things. So yeah, this little EP was not getting talked about in our August recap, unfortunately. So, you know, I guess if you're gonna release the deluxe edition of an album, do it in December when not much else is releasing. But yeah, I think Break is an absolutely incredible song. Derek, I think if you're going to enjoy anything on here, it would be that song. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this.
So question really quickly. Does the Catch Your Breath feature, you mentioned the uncleans, is it only uncleans?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay, because I was gonna ask. I feel like with a versatile vocalist like that, a lot of times like, we wonder,
that's
like, do you use
that's
full
the
range?
other thing why I'm like, if it utilized Josh's Queens as like backing vocals to the chorus, maybe we're talking a feature of the year contender then, but it is just as harsh vocals in like the verse. I mean, he's incorporated throughout the entire song. It's not just him on the breakdown verse. They trade lines in the chorus, and it's really sick. But I do think there's some missed potential with how talented Josh is at doing Queens as well. But hey, it's still the best song that Sakoya's ever put out, as far as I'm concerned. So
can't complain.
I can't complain too much. Yeah.
Jacob,
is it me? Oh, we're talking about Guardin again. Guardin has released an EP, of course, on the last day of the year.
Figures.
Called "This Year Was Not Kind to Me."
Place what we made at the start. Canvases paint over faces from places that solely exist on the depths of this part. Chapters chronologically instead of mine.
That is one thing that I feel like, especially with like So That's It, huh? Back in 2020, like there's a lot of the releases that come out at the end of the year are like a reflection of how the year went for him, which I get, and I get why it releases, but it doesn't make it any less annoying because this EP is so fucking good. I think it probably would have made top 5 for me. I don't know if you still feel the same. I know you mentioned that it'd be like number 4 probably, I think.
Yeah, I think I'd place this number 4.
Yeah. What I really appreciate about it is how different sonically all 3 songs are, but how well they still all work together.
Yes, especially how they like fade together. Like you don't even notice the transition between Concrete and Rip Me Apart.
No, not at all. And it's what, like a 5-minute EP?
Yeah,
something like that. It almost feels like a multi-faceted song, front to back, more or less. Like, which I think normally for an EP, like I might be like, oh, okay, like I don't know if the song's being that short of work, but it almost feels like if it's meant to represent the year, it feels like different phases of the year or different types of emotions felt during the year. I don't know if that was intentional, but that's how I took it. And I think to that end, it works really well. Like you wouldn't think that a 5-minute EP would end up anywhere near the top 5 or 10 or anything like that in theory, because you got EPs like, for instance, Fox Cult, which was like I think 19 minutes. Plenty of EPs like 20 minutes long. This is a fourth of that, but it still manages to invoke enough emotion and reflectiveness that you're like, oh, this is so fucking good. Like, I almost want to say,
have we gotten a song in the style of Concrete before by him? I don't.
Ooh,
because it feels very fresh.
Yeah, Monday, as far as I know, was the closest that we've had in any recent times. I want to say there are 2 more, but I'm blanking on the names. But they're from like a couple years ago, if that. Like, it's been a while. I know he made another one he was tweeting about in the style of Concrete that's coming out eventually. So, how did you feel about Concrete, by the way? Speaking of.
I don't know. I like it because it goes together with Rip Me Apart so well. Like I would almost treat it as like one song.
Yeah.
But again, they're so different at the same time. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't listened to Rip Me Apart by itself. So I'd have to change. I'd base my opinion on that. How Rip Me Apart sounds by itself.
I think something for me that I really got out of Concrete and this EP is like Mac Miller vibes. I don't know how much you listen to Mac Miller, if any.
No.
I think that sort of style, because like you can hear his accent in Concrete, which I think is it adds to the style a lot. That like he's got that kind of New York, New Jersey type of accent that doesn't always come
Mhm.
through, but he really leans into it on Concrete, which I think helps with the punchiness of it. In contrasting, especially with Rip Me Apart and Warm Wishes, like I think that's part of why it works so well, is because it starts, the EP starts low, maybe saying, like, for instance, if it's a timeline, the year started low, got higher with Concrete, and then kind of went back down. It ended not as well with Rip Me Apart. There's just three distinctive styles, I feel like, here. It shouldn't work as well as it does, but fuck's sake, if there's anybody who can do it, it's gonna be Guardin. I am such a fan of whenever he hops on anything with a piano. I mean, we both love Waterproof. I would say Rip Me Apart is probably both of our favorite songs on here, right? Is that a fair take?
Yeah, I honestly, like, it's 5 minutes, so I haven't really.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to the songs by themselves because I can just listen to the whole EP if I want
Right.
to.
It's shorter than a Sleep Token song.
Yeah.
You could listen to this EP like 12 or 13 times, or you could listen to Take Me Back to Eden once.
Take Me Back to Eden, the track is as long as listening to this EP once and then also listening to Warm Wishes and Concrete all the way through.
Yeah, probably.
But there's so much packed into a minute and a half in both of those songs. It adds so much to this EP. I'm consistently, we mention it, I feel like every time Guardin drops something, which I guess is a testament to how well he does it, but it's just the fact that something this short can have so much packed into it,
Yeah.
so much to like attach to and like enjoy and listen to. It's like there's nobody in this space that does it quite like Guardin. The dude is just in a league of his own. I love this. Still a little mad that it dropped when it did, but you know what?
Honestly,
It makes sense.
Is there going to be a little bit of
Yeah.
rule bending next year again?
I don't think so for me.
I don't think so. I doubt it. I think Waterproof.
Unless
I felt
yeah,
strong.
unless EPs are not great.
Yeah, let's get 2 years in a row.
But for songs, I don't think so.
No.
Album time.
Only 2 albums for this month. And I don't
I'm
know
not
how
doing
much
this.
we will have to say about either of them. So we might be done here pretty quick. Let's talk about this first one. We got Unprocessed, their album, and everything in between. In my opinion, this is a step up from Gold, but it's still very hit or miss.
Gold's better.
Gold was
Yeah.
like
Honestly,
Gold
I
had
think-
good songs. This has good songs. I just think Gold had so many forgettable songs, whereas at least this is only a 9-track album. So even like the forgettable songs aren't like so overbearing. If that makes sense.
Yeah, but the argument in an album being too long is then you just pick songs that you like from it. But I can understand with it all kind of blended well together to the point where if you were kind of the outside looking in to the album of Gold, I can see where your point of view is. For me, I like this album, but more as a novelty thing instead of actually like enjoying it for the music that it puts out.
There is nothing quite like this.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't mind Unprocessed getting heavier, but I feel like they went too far, in my opinion.
I will agree with that at times. It does get a little too much. Like sometimes there's so much instrumentation going on that it just feels like incoherent noise.
Yes,
But it's
there's
so
I can't
technical
remember
that,
what
like, it
song
should
it
be
is, but there's
impressive,
it's like just drums like blasting my ears, and
I think
that-
I
I
wish
thi-
I
I think
wasn't
it's
as that.
Abyssum. Oh, it's a
Oh no, Abyssum is like my favorite. Abyssum is like a really slow song that kind of harkens back to that sound from Gold. It wasn't until that the guitar frets came in, where I feel like I was listening to a track off Gold. I think Abyssum is my favorite. That following Glass was a really good stint. Fortunately, I wish I wasn't kind of brought back that kind of drowned out sound that they used a lot, especially in Hell. Hell was a reasonable opener, but it didn't do it for me, and I didn't go back to it after the fact.
I really enjoyed the middle of the album, like the stretch of singles and Die on the Cross of the Martyr featuring Polyphia. I think that song is really solid. Probably my second favorite behind Blackbone. Maybe third behind Thrash, but I think Die on the Cross of the Martyr is sick. The breakdown in that song and the guitar solo from Tim and Scott are fantastic. The harsh vocal delivery on the Die on the Cross of the Martyr, and then like get a bit of a breakdown riff of the Martyr. I really enjoyed that. Probably one of the more memorable songs on this. Well, definitely one of the more memorable songs on this album for me. But I think it doesn't stick the opening, and it doesn't really stick the landing either. You kind of have to like, I don't know. It's like walking through mud to get to a cool view, and then you realize, oh shit, I have to walk back through the mud. But I mean, the cool view is really cool. It's a weird analogy, but that's the best I can come up with.
It's just super weird to talk about this album because it's good. Like, they're hella talented with what they can do with the instruments, and it's a sound that works. But I feel like I'm glad this was only 9 tracks, because if this was a full 16, I feel like any speaker that was playing this album would have exploded into flames at this point. Because of I mean, at this point, what more can you say? But Unprocessed are still really talented. If Gold was any indication of that, like, they still are really, really good.
This just further cements how incredibly talented they are. I just don't think sonically this sound is something we resonate with.
My favorite from them is still going to be Real, featuring Tim Henson. But that wasn't on either of the albums, so I cry.
This album seems to be doing well for them, though.
Oh yeah, another 200,000 monthly listeners. It's going wild. They're touring off of it. I was kind of tempted to buy a ticket. I might. We'll see.
Who's opening?
Good question. I can tell you in a moment. Derek, did you get to this?
I didn't, no. I heard that the reactions to it were not as positive as Gold, so when I was making on what to listen to, I was like,
why couldn't he go back to being horny? Why does he have to be a Satanist in this?
We don't know the opener.
Okay.
Hasn't been announced yet.
Really? I thought that tour is pretty soon. Isn't it like February?
It's April.
Oh, that makes more sense. Anyway,
we'll probably know in February.
Shall we go to an album that's better?
I'm interested to hear about this.
You can say that.
Have you not heard it?
I haven't.
What?
I know. I'm a bad person. This was up there as one of the ones that I wanted to listen to and just literally have not had a chance to. Like, I need to. Especially after you mentioned it as your number 12. I figured I could hear more about it from this recap and then go from there.
So we have Health, which is, I think, first time. Yeah, this is first time on the podcast. With the release Rat Wars. And I don't know what number album this is for them. I'm not going to tell you because I don't know.
I'll go find out. That'll be my contribution.
No, don't even bother. There's so many.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah, this band's been around for a while. and this is the first. I only heard of them because they were opening for Sleep Token. That's how I heard of them. So this is like it's kind of vibey, like Sleep Token, but also not. Like it's more it gets like it's like those building songs like Sleep Token, but when it gets to its like climax, it's more industrial sounding, almost like the Doom soundtrack, honestly.
Yeah. And I listened to a couple of songs off of this just to like test it, because I needed I was trying to hit 100 albums. He suggested this to me, so I was like, all right, let me test the waters on sound before I go full in. And very industrial, almost reminds me of old Blue Stolly, which is a name I don't think I've mentioned on this since like 2020.
I was gonna say there's been a recent lack of Blue Stolly.
Yeah. It's very industrial, like cyberpunky.
Mm-hmm.
At least from the
but then the
singles that I heard.
the vocals are like the complete opposite, and they're like,
yeah, they're super soft and like buried in the mix.
Yeah, exactly. They're very buried in the mix, and it's very interesting because I feel like it's something I could just like put on and like vibe to, even though it's like bashing my ears in at times. The vocals are like kind of the opposite of the industrial, and I don't know if we ever get any screaming. Maybe in the feature by Godflesh, I think there is. But if you like the Doom soundtrack, you will like this album.
It is very Mick Gordon doomy. From the I think I've heard the first like 3 or 4 tracks off this because you sent it to me and I listened to it for the rest of my drive home after you sent it. It was damn good, and I meant to listen to it, and I didn't. But everything that has been said sounds like some shit I'd enjoy. So, much like, what is the EP? Much like the Save Us EP. I know what 2023 release that I missed, so I'm going to get to.
Finishing out my 100 albums for 2023, it was basically between this or Off-Road Minivan, and I listened to a couple Off-Road Minivan songs, and I was like, that's much more up my alley.
Let's go.
So fell to the sidelines.
I feel like I wouldn't really like this. No. The reason I do like this is because of the vocals. Most industrial music or industrial sounding music, it's what turns me off is the vocals. I like the Doom soundtrack, and that's because there's no vocals. And yeah, basically the vocals aren't a turn off for me. And I really love the sound I'm getting from the instruments in this. I haven't really dug into lyrics or anything. It's not something I really would want from this band is lyrics. It's just something to put on and slay a bunch of zombies to Left 4 Dead or something.
In Minecraft?
In Minecraft.
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that. Or to play the famed PvE Overwatch.
No.
I know it's so well received. And that we are all very big fans of, right, guys?
Yeah, guys.
Bro, don't get me started.
Does
For
that
fans
wrap
of
up?
Doom.
Fans of Doom is real. Short little episode to cap off the year.
Yeah. I feel like December
usually goes. Yeah. People are all
Not
quiet
last
to calm
year.
before the storm.
Was last December a long one?
I
Yeah,
feel like
when-
last year's pretty chill.
Last year when Derek left us for about 3 months, and we decided on whether or not to skip it or include it. I'm like, no, there's so
I don't
much.
even remember that. Also, guys, I need to point this out on the show before I forget.
Oh no.
Mhm.
I am the only one in this podcast who follows the podcast on Spotify.
Do I not?
I do.
Unless it's private. Maybe it's private. It says 3 followers though. So
Let me double check.
anyway, that's what it says for me. If I go to the podcast followers, all I see is myself.
With that
Maybe
being
you guys
said,
have
be
it
sure
on
to go
private.
follow us on Spotify, Hivemind Radio on Spotify. You can find us there. You can find all the episodes and our 2023 awards episodes. We gave some hints to it throughout this episode. Go listen to our
I
We
would
did
never.
top 5 singles, top 5 EPs, top 10 albums, the Behemoth Giga episode. Probably the last time we're doing it in that format because holy
Yeah.
shit.
That was a lot.
It certainly was a lot. But also be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at HiveMindRadio_. And subscribe to our YouTube channel as well for video versions of these episodes, or visuals anyway. Yeah, 2023 was probably the most underwhelming year of us doing this. Started off scuffed, ended off scuffed.
I would say 2020 just because there was a lot that dropped in 2020 given the circumstances. But this is close second.
Yeah, I would agree with you there, Jake. I think 2022 is definitely my favorite year that we've done this podcast.
2022 was awesome.
2023 is probably my least favorite.
Now that we have some extra time, I mentioned this at the end of the year recap, but because we had so much leftover time at the end of the album awards, I thought, what better way to save some time but to include this question here. What albums are we looking forward to in 2024?
Yes, most anticipated release.
Something letter sent home. I'll talk about it more in our January recap. Something. I don't know.
That have been announced or not announced?
Speculated.
So I think for announced, or I think it's basically confirmed, is Imminence is releasing an album this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know who else.
Bring
Me.
For...
Right. That's announced if it ever comes out.
For me, I'm always stuck in that perpetual motion of will speech patterns ever drop anything? Because it's been 4 years since they said they had an album that they were planning for 2020, and that's not happened.
Will Time the Evaluator return?
I'm also lost in Time the Evaluator purgatory.
Bro, how about
Traceless?
Paloma.
That EP is in purgatory. Traceless.
The Devil Wears
Written by
Prada.
Wolves.
Final
Written
answer.
by Wolves needs to announce something.
What
dropped,
album? What album from them?
Do they not have an album?
I don't know. They said at one point they're waiting on art for it, but that's never come up, and that was like 5 months ago.
We haven't heard from Derek. Derek, what's your answer?
Either Prada or Make Them Suffer, I think.
Oh yeah,
Make Them Suffer's a good shout.
Bad Flower.
Bad Flower's another good one.
Nightlife.
I would love to see. I don't know if Starset's making music anymore. They announced that like final tour, right? I don't know if they're.
I want to say that's just from that story, but I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Because that was like a story that was going on for like 2 or 3 albums.
Maybe.
I'm really hoping that Anchor finally drops an album this year because they released Prisoner in December 2022, and I was like, oh boy, Anchor top 10 album 2023, and then nothing.
Yeah, Jacob, I'm looking on Reddit right now. Apparently, there is a 5th album coming up. Dustin's confirmed it on some tours, and
lovely
should be releasing early 2024.
Early 2024?
Yeah,
or 25?
24.
Oh,
there was speculation it would have been late 2023, but with no singles, it probably is going to be this year.
I think Derek needs to say one more.
Well, the problem is my picks would have been Issues, and then and my pick would have been I See Stars, but fuck, I'm trying.
Or Hands Like Houses, but
yeah, fuck, god dang it, dude! Every time, can I have nothing?
Until I wake.
Who else? Oh fuck! Stop!
You know what? Derek, I got one for you. Loveless.
Maybe.
They-
I don't know.
they have a new
After that
album
past
coming
EP,
Too Close to Touch
I'm
EP?
maybe. I guess it's not an album though.
I'm excited for the Dayseeker acoustic.
I honestly, if I can be so for real, it's probably either the Concrete Forever, like Deluxe of the Death of Peace of Mind, or it's any potential new Spirit Box album this fall. They haven't promised anything, but I think they said potentially something could come out later this year. So if there's something there, I'll take it. But otherwise, I'll be happy with Prada. Assuming it comes out this year, I hope it does. It better.
Jeremy was tweeting about a new song. Let me see. Yeah, this is what he tweeted. He tweeted this. I can't really show it on the podcast.
Sold. Prada wins the most anticipated album 2024.
Yeah. Just start.
If Prada releases another song like
Prada.
Salt, I'll add another Prada song to my playlist.
We can wrap it up.
I think they'll do it.
We'll be back with our January recap in a few weeks, potentially changing up a few things with how the live streams work. We do live stream these, by the way, if you didn't know. Be sure to follow us because I'll share the stories and we'll tweet about it when we are live. So if you want to hang out in the chat with us, discuss the songs as we do it live, feel free to join us and hang out.
Canadian
but we might
internet
be
pending.
Yes, we might be changing up a few things, adding some stuff, just doing some stuff, making some changes for the new year because we're going on like 4 years of doing this show at this point, and the format's mostly stayed the same. So I imagine it'll probably mostly stay the same, but I think we have some ideas that we want to consider adding in going into 2024. So we'll see how that goes.
Make the episodes even longer.
With that being said, hope you enjoyed the 2023 series, if you want to call it that. And we'll be back for we'll be back for our 2024 recaps shortly, soon. TM.
And
hopefully I can hear out of my left ear and won't be sick.
Why'd you say not in May? Now we have to hope Derek's internet holds out.
Dude, don't even say that. Don't even say that, man.
Have a good one, y'all.
Have a good one.
Bye.
See ya.